Well, this is a different kind of video. Yeah, so the other day I rewatched Tangled for the first time in years, just for some nostalgia, and because Rapunzel does just so happen to be my favorite Disney princess. I love her so much, I put her on my hairbrush, which is the single most fitting piece of Tangled merchandise to ever get. Why do I have two of these? So anyway, yeah, Tangled. It's really hard to call this one overrated, because it's not a movie that I think anyone has ever just straight up disliked. Seriously, I don't think anyone could dislike this movie if they tried. But I also don't think that this film gets the praise it deserves, and often just kinda gets forgotten in the mix of the 2010s Disney movies. Everyone has talked to death about how great Wreck-It Ralph is, for very deserved reasons, and how terrible the sequel is for equally deserved reasons. Everyone remembers that one for the furries, Big Hero 6 being Big Hero 6.
That was his mistake.
Moana is remembered pretty damn fondly, and yes, even that one. Don't worry, we will get to the cold-themed younger sister to Tangled later in the video. I don't think I can discuss Tangled and its impact without bringing it up, and I'm pretty sure it just chained itself to me with handcuffs molded out of ice. But let's put a pin in that one. I'll let it go, and we'll come back to it, because I think it would be far more interesting if we started out this chill video by looking at it on its own, and judging Tangled based off its own merits, and not view it in comparison for once. So let's do just that, and get straight into it as I explain how Tangled became Disney's forgotten masterpiece. I won't be going super deep into the plot summary of this one, because I assume anyone clicking on this video is at least somewhat familiar with the movie Tangled, or hell, the story of Rapunzel in general. But just in case you need some catching up, here's a brief summary. So, an old witch uses the power of this literal sunflower to keep herself young and beautiful. One night, the king and queen's daughter falls ill, so the kingdom rushes to find this flower and heal their princess. Doing this gives Rapunzel magic hair that glows when she sings, and it possesses the power to heal people. Though this witch lady wants this power all to herself, and so she kidnaps the princess and locks her away in a tower for 18 years. So, 18 years later, Rapunzel is finally an adult, and she's ready to see the world. But her mother has given her a serious case of Stockholm and won't let her leave. Rapunzel feels stuck here until Flynn Rider, legendary outlaw, professional hunk, and king of one of the best running gags out there.
No. This is bad. This is very, very bad. This is really bad. They just can't get my nose right.
Ends up in her tower, running away from some enemies he made while stealing the princess's crown. She knocks him out, and they make a deal where he'll bring her to see the lanterns that are launched into the sky every year for her birthday, and she finally leaves the tower for the first time in 18 years, alongside a handsome guy and a pair of comic relief animals. It's a very classic feeling Disney animated film. Oh shit. Film? God damn it, Midwestern accent. It's a very classic feeling Disney animated film. In fact, this is probably due to the fact that it was originally conceived as a 2D animated Disney film. But for whatever reason, Michael Eisner greenlit the film on the condition it would be changed to 3D animation for the debut of Disney's 50th animated feature film. And boy, what a film to carry that monumental title. Can you imagine Disney's 50th movie being Ralph Breaks My Sanity? Nah, this film just feels like an anniversary film. Something to be celebrated. And speaking of things to be celebrated, the animation. For a film that came out in 2010 from a studio whose 3D animated movies created in-house at that point consisted of such classics as Chicken Little and Dinosaur, this film holds up exceptionally well. It's in the same tier as something like Meet the Robinsons or Bolt, where, sure, it's not the most technically impressive thing in the world, But, especially for the time it came out, it still manages to look really, really good, which is important when making an animated movie about a princess. Apparently, animating all of Rapunzel's hair was a real bitch to get looking good, and I cannot imagine the amount of effort that went into it. The effort is genuinely commendable, and the visuals of her hair, and the way it glows, really help this movie stand out above the rest of the Disney catalog. I mean, come on, what other film has this in it? And, on the subject of something unique, I want to talk about Rapunzel herself, and why she is, in my completely objective and correct opinion, hands down, without a doubt, the greatest Disney princess ever. She's such a fun and lively lead for this film. She's full of energy and charm, she's quirky as hell, and that's so goddamn relatable. But what I really, really love about her is that you can tell that she genuinely cares about the people in her life. Even when they treat her bad or greet her with hostility, she still treats them with kindness. She, of course, still doesn't take shit from anyone, and when push comes to shove, she stands up for herself and gets what she wants. It may just be that I have a thing for badass blondies, but I also think she's just overall the prettiest Disney princess of the batch, even with short hair. All around, I think Rapunzel is such a charming and endearing character with a lot of lovable traits that other Disney princesses don't have. But a Disney princess story is nothing without her love interest. And just how does Tangled handle the love story? It is genuinely one of the most touching and romantic films I have ever seen. Not just in animation, but in film, period. And it's all thanks to Flynn Rider, Eugene Fitzherbert. If you think Rapunzel is an enjoyable character, then she would definitely need a romantic lead that plays off her just as well. And I'm happy to report that Eugene fits this bill perfectly. When the film starts out, he just seems like the cocky, stereotypical Jack Sparrow-esque thief. I mean, this guy is so cocky that he ruined the perfect getaway just to make a snarky-ass comment to one of the guards.
Ugh, hay fever?
Yeah.
Hell, it could be argued that if Flynn wasn't such a cocky and arrogant asshole at the start, the events of the film would have never happened as they did. I mean, after all, if he never made that remark to the guard, none of them would have been alerted, and he could have run away with the crown completely undetected. It's his own ego that leads him to being spotted, leading to him running, leading him to the tower, leading him to Rapunzel. You may think, well, no duh, but I genuinely love how well thought out Flynn's character is. You can tell from the moment he meets Rapunzel that even though he just kinda wants to get out of her hair, quite literally, he kinda does care about her deep down. That's so sweet and romantic, and it warms the cold of my dark, cynical heart. The chemistry between our two leads is so palpable, and the voice actors really sell the performance. It's a really inspired choice to have Eugene part Rapunzel's hair out of her eyes, because it stands within stark contrast of Mother Gothel, who constantly focuses on and around Rapunzel's hair. I adore it to bits. And the lantern scene. Oh my god, the lantern scene. I am not joking. I am not exaggerating. This scene makes me cry every single time it plays out. I am more emotionally invested in the relationship of these two Disney characters than I am in my own personal relationships. What is wrong with me? The lights, the music, the setting, the relationship between Eugene and Rapunzel coming to its highest point yet, after Eugene gives her the best day of her life. God damn it, I'm not crying, you are! On the topic of crying, when Tangled isn't making me cry due to my estrogen-induced emotional girl disorder, it's making me cry of laughter because holy shit, this movie is surprisingly funny. I wouldn't call it the single funniest movie ever made, but there are so many running gags in this movie that have me dying, like the frying pan gag, or the wanted poster gag.
Oh, now they're just being mean.
Even when it's not making me laugh with these gags, there's so many one-liners that still catch me off guard to this day.
Who's that?
They don't like me.
Who's that?
They don't like me either.
Who's that?
Let's just assume for the moment that everyone in here doesn't like me.
I can really appreciate this movie's sense of humor. It's not a laugh-a-minute type of film. Hell, I won't even consider it a comedy film. But when it tells its jokes, it tells them and has me rolling on the floor. Everything from the running gags to even the animal sidekicks manage to get a laugh out of me. And believe me, when the exploitable and merchandisable animal sidekick mascot has me laughing, you know you did something right, as usually those characters elicit nothing more than a groan from my tired, cynical ass. So, Tangled is a fantastic film. It has great characters, a killer soundtrack, it's super funny, and the animation is beautiful. So, with all that said, why the hell does nobody talk about this movie anymore? While I can't say for certain this is the case, my theory is that this movie's legacy was buried by one film. Buried in a deep layer of snow. Yep, it's time to talk about Frozen and how its success practically buried this film's legacy. So, Tangled was no box office flop when it released, but Frozen was everywhere when it came out. And you know what? I don't think I'd have such a distaste for Frozen if that wasn't the case. Because technically speaking, Frozen ain't that bad of a film. I mean, it looks gorgeous. Hell, I'll even dreadfully concede that there are certain sequences in Frozen that look even better than Tangled. Some of the characters are really charming and endearing. Some of the songs are admittedly very catchy. And hey, it's at least a very, competent film. Mostly, we'll get to you in a second, Elsa. So, with all that said, is Frozen better than Tangled? Fucking no! Tangled beats out Frozen in almost every category there is, so I genuinely have no idea why Frozen had the longer lasting impact. I'll compliment Frozen's visuals and say that it looks pretty, but other than that, I don't really think anything done in Frozen hasn't been done better elsewhere. Rudolph here is very clearly trying to capture what worked with Maximus, only without the things that made Maximus good, like, you know, a personality and being funny. I genuinely cannot for the life of me remember one thing that this Santa's reindeer looking ass does in the movie besides get the characters from place A to place B and being a pet. Olaf is just a worse version of Pascal, only Pascal never talks, so he never gets on my nerves. And while every one or so lines Olaf manages to get a laugh out of me,
oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
this pales in comparison to the amount of laughs Pascal manages to get out of me without even saying a word. But these characters don't even hold a candle to the problems I have with the leads, especially in comparison to Tangled. While it is true that Anna and Elsa have admittedly some pretty good chemistry, I cannot say the same for the love interest of that movie. Anna and Kristoff, jeez, I really do not know what to say about these two other than that this is definitely ain't Eugene and Rapunzel. And the villain of this movie? Yeah, we ain't letting this one go without tearing it apart. So, let's tear him apart! Remember how Tangled had a dastardly villain that was a villain from the start of the film? She was evil and manipulative and just heinous. But she's really charming and entertaining to watch. So naturally, you'd hope the villain of Frozen, Disney's biggest film ever, would follow in Mother Gothel's footsteps, right? Wrong! Hans is, without a shred of doubt in my mind, the worst Disney villain ever put to screen. Genuinely, I hate him with a burning passion. He shows up in the beginning, acting lovely and friendly to Anna, they get engaged on the first day, and then at the end of the movie, it's revealed he was a twist villain who, surprise surprise, never loved Anna to begin with, and just wanted to kill Elsa and take over the kingdom, or something. I guess, in all fairness, the twist of the charming prince secretly being evil wasn't a trope Disney had done to death yet. It was before the era of patting themselves on the back for being clever and subversive. But dear God, this twist is fucking awful. It's not built up to at all. And when he turns, I'm not thinking, wow, what a good twist. I'm instead looking for the nearest pair of forks to jam up my eyes so I never have to see this stupid movie ever again. It has been said that for the original vision of Frozen, that Elsa was set to be the villain with an evil army of snow people, and that Hans was turned into a villain at the last minute in the writer's room. And watching this film back, yeah, it really shows that this was a last-minute addition to the story. You can say what you want about that was his mistake, but seriously, there is no villain I hate more than Hans from Frozen.
And, I could keep going, but, you know, this video is about Tangled, not Hans from Frozen. So if that's something that interests you, leave a comment. I could go on for hours about why I hate Hans from Frozen.
So, Tangled has better characters, better humor, better music. Seriously, does anybody even remember the name of the ice song from Frozen? With all that said, why is Frozen the film that got remembered instead of Tangled? I guess, truthfully, I can be happy that the franchise didn't get milked as hard as Frozen did, as it means that Tangled can be more special and hasn't been milked dry yet. There has never, and probably will never, be a Tangled 2.
Although don't hold your breath given Disney's recent output.
And all that came of the franchise after the first film was a short film, which is more extended epilogue than its own thing, and a 2D animated series on Disney Channel, which kind of brings things full circle back to its conception as a 2D animated Disney film. At the moment, it seems Disney doesn't really have plans for the franchise, but you can bet your ass they'll keep making Frozen films until the sun freezes over. So I guess I can sleep easily knowing that Tangled is a one-and-done film, and it will remain special for that reason. If for whatever reason you haven't seen Tangled, I encourage you to give it a watch. I promise you won't regret it. Oh, what's that, Joker Kirby? Rapunzel appears in the background of Frozen as an Easter egg? I take it back, Frozen is a masterpiece!